So, my girlfriend's best friend thought I was a gold digger. At first, I thought it was just some harmless shade, like when a protective friend doesn't totally warm up to you. You know, normal jealousy, right? But no, with Maddie, it was more than that. I learned the hard way that sometimes the person most obsessed with your relationship isn't even your partner. It's the so-called best friend hovering in the background, plotting like it's their full-time job. But let me back up a little, because context matters. I didn't grow up with much. I was basically raised on budget ramen and coupon clipping. My mom worked 2 jobs, dad wasn't really in the picture. And if I wanted anything remotely extra, I had to earn it. Babysitting, part-time cashier, delivering pizzas in high school. You name it, I hustled it. I'm 25 now, and I still kind of carry that chip on my shoulder. Like I always have to prove I'm not just surviving. I'm actually building something for myself. That's important, because my girlfriend comes from a completely different world. Let's call her Rachel. Rachel grew up in a family where summering in Italy was something they casually brought up at Thanksgiving. She went to private school, drives a nice car, wears clothes that don't have to come from outlet malls. She's not spoiled. Actually, that's one of the things I love about her, but she never had to claw her way through life the way I did. We met at a volunteer event, of all places. I know, it sounds cheesy, but it's true. We were both helping out at this food drive, and she cracked some silly joke about the canned cranberry sauce pyramid I was building. I don't know what happened, but we just clicked. I remember thinking, wow, she's funny, down to earth, and gorgeous. I am absolutely in trouble here. Fast forward a few months, and we're dating. Those first months felt perfect. She didn't care if our dates were walks in the park or grabbing dollar tacos. She wasn't into flashy stuff. I thought, maybe this whole different worlds thing won't actually matter. And then came Maddie. Maddie has been Rachel's best friend since like kindergarten. You know the type, the ride or die. Friend who knows every detail of her life. The friend her parents already consider family. So obviously, when Rachel told Maddie about me, I knew I had to make a good impression. I honestly wanted Maddie to like me, because I could see how important she was to Rachel. But here's the thing. I could tell from the very first handshake that Maddie wasn't having it. She had that smile. You know the one, the polite, sugary one that doesn't reach the eyes. She looked me up and down, taking in every detail of my thrift store jeans, my off-brand sneakers, and she said, "Oh, so you're the new girlfriend." It was loud enough to sound casual, but just sharp enough for me to register the sting. Throughout that first hangout, Maddie dropped little comments, tiny jokes that didn't feel like jokes. When I mentioned the crappy job I was holding down while finishing my degree, she smirked. Hey, at least Rachel's family won't let you starve. Rachel laughed awkwardly. I smiled, even though inside my stomach was in knots. I brushed it off. Protective best friend, right? That's what I told myself. I even reassured Rachel later, like, don't worry, I get it. She just wants to look out for you. Rachel apologized, but she didn't push Maddie on it. I tried not to take it personally, but things escalated quickly. The second time I hung out with Maddie was at this group dinner. Rachel had invited some of her friends, Maddie included, to introduce me around. Halfway through the night, Maddie decided to announce, in front of everyone, "So what do you do exactly? Like for work?" I mean, besides dating my best friend. I laughed, awkwardly, but my chest was burning. Everyone else at the table kind of laughed too, except Rachel, who gave Maddie this sharp look, but Maddie just shrugged innocently, like it was a normal question. That's when I realized this girl wasn't just protecting her friend, she had already decided who I was, and worse, she was going to make me prove otherwise. At this point of the story, you might be thinking, well hey, why didn't your girlfriend just shut Maddie down and defend you? Oh, believe me, I thought that too. Rachel did step in a couple of times, but it was subtle. Like if Maddie went too far, Rachel would say, "Maddie, stop," but she'd never really call her out outright, not the way I needed her to. And that silence, that definitely planted doubt in my head too. So there I was, caught in this weird triangle, me trying to show I'm not some opportunist, Maddie practically auditioning for her role as Sherlock Holmes, and Rachel kind of stuck in the middle. But things really boiled over at her family's dinner party. This honestly was the first major humiliation, and it set the stage for everything that came next. Rachel's parents hosted this big fancy dinner, the kind with multiple forks and a wine I couldn't pronounce. I felt nervous but determined to make a good impression. For most of the night, things were going okay. Her mom asked about my studies. Her dad cracked some dad jokes, and I was like, phew, maybe I'm pulling this off. Then Maddie struck. She raised her glass at the table and smirked. Can we all just agree how lucky Rachel is to have someone who appreciates her for more than just her family's money? Silence. Everyone's eyes flicked to me. I felt my face get hot. Her parents laughed awkwardly, but I wanted the ground to swallow me whole. Rachel muttered, "Maddie, seriously?" But Maddie just looked smug. In that moment, I realized this wasn't going to stop. Maddie wasn't just skeptical. Maddie was on a mission, and I had no idea just how far she'd go. After that dinner with Rachel's family, I should have known Maddie wouldn't let things go, but I guess I kept hoping she'd calm down, or maybe Rachel would finally talk to her, and things would smooth out. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. Instead, Maddie doubled down. At first, it was these little slip-ups that I thought maybe I was just being paranoid about. Full story on channel, link below.